Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. Hope everyone's doing well today. I'm Jeff Schenfeld.
And I'm Garfield Hooper.
All right, today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. One of the things I saw a lot of, especially with the part-timers, is, if someone would come in late to work, whether they told the management or not, they come in, management would be like, we're sending you home. No. Everyone needs to know, everybody needs to know that when you come in late like that, you don't lose your seniority. You lose your guarantee. So whatever it is till the end of the shift, you could, you'll be able to work. Garfield, have you ever seen anything like that happen in your building where they're like, no, you got to go home?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they did it to me. I had gotten this was I was a driver at this point, but I'd had a little altercation with a former center manager, and I was late one day.
Yeah, that happens.
And they had put somebody else on my route and told me that I didn't have a route that day, and because I was like 5 minutes late or something, and I told him I was like it's like I'm just not guaranteed 8. Like you still have to work me if I'm here.
Yes.
And of course he fought me on it, and I said, okay, well then I'll go home, and then I filed the grievance on it and won. So
no, exactly, and I mean it's important because again they'll try to make up their own rules. Well, this and that, we don't have work. Okay, you don't have work, but I think a lot of times what people have to do, just say you want your guarantee.
Yep.
And even though you show up to work, that should be good enough. That's basically saying I want my guarantee, unless you say otherwise.
Yeah.
But I think you have to say, when they say we have no work, no, I want my guarantee. And make sure you try to say that in front of someone, because it doesn't have to be a steward, but someone else who heard, because sometimes they'll try to be like, well, no, I didn't hear you say.
Oh wait, are you?
It's an understood thing.
Are you saying that management will lie to us? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I think that's exactly what I'm saying. They avoid the truth. It's nuts. It's nuts. But it's crazy. But yeah, you just have to. And like I said, when you come in, your guarantee is supposed to be there anyway. But just to cover yourself, you can never be too sure. And you just say, I want my guarantee. We don't have any work. Oh, well, okay. I still get my guarantee. Doesn't mean it's, I still get my hours, and you can't send me home. I don't lose my seniority or, whatever they give you.
So long as you're not, like I said, so long as you're, not more than 45 minutes late, I believe is what it says.
Well, there was an understanding. So we had this, in Dallas that, if when I was BA, that if someone comes in more than 45 minutes, let's say there's a double shifter, right? And again, part-timers don't have a specific spot. The combos do 22 threes. They have their specific areas. That's different. But if there's a double shifter working in a specific area in the hub and a part-timer wants that, no one's got that area. But if they're 45 minutes late, they're 45 minutes late. They're going to go where, they're put at that point. You can't just start, there's got to be something there. So the 45 minutes was an understanding. But again, anyone out there, just get with your BA just to make sure, just clarify, we had that understanding, and it's just see where they're at with that. So, we don't want anyone just, being like, no, it was this, it was that. No, I mean, that was the understanding we had, but, things could have, they could have come to a different agreement. I mean, I don't know, but we just have to be, aware of that. And, they have gotten so many part-timers, they call me afterwards, like, and I had told them plenty of times, no, you don't lose your seniority. And it's like, I don't know if they were listening to me, to be honest with you. They go home, and I'm like, well, why didn't you stay? You still get to work. And and I we had them file, and they would get it anyway, right?
Yeah.
It just makes it more difficult. You want to streamline, you want to make it easier for us and for the BA to get this thing done. You don't want this thing to drag on because there's not enough information or whatnot. And, it's like you said before, the management does this thing called avoiding the truth. Wait, what did you call it again?
Lying?
That's what it was. That's what it was. It's crazy.
Well, they want to fire us for dishonesty, but, oh, man, I don't know any management that would still have a job if they could get fired for being dishonest.
No, not at all. And I mean, that's, again, I'll just say a side thing. I wish that something like that was, put in the contract where they would mirror the language. If they can do this to us, then this can happen to them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, and we have to deal with it, whatever it is now. So hopefully next time, we can get something like that in there. But so that was, that was that. And understand also, if you're coming in late, if you haven't spoken to them, which you should always let them know if you're going to be late, they could still write you up. That doesn't change the fact that they can write you up. So, I mean,
if you're late, they're going to give you a discipline. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So just, I know things come up and whatnot, but you still, if you can make it, make it there on time. That's, if it's something we can control, then make it there on time. So, but there's that. So another thing I want to talk about is the LightX cameras. That's a big point of contention. Oh my God.
You're opening up a can of worms now.
Oh yeah. They're everywhere right now. And, people say, oh, there's a sensor, it's a camera, it's this, management says that, this and that. And they should have started all over and taken all the cameras out. They should have never been put in. We didn't negotiate that. They were originally, and they just put them in. That shouldn't happen. We should have made them take it out and start all over again.
Yeah, and now it's contractual, and now they can have them in there, and now they can claim that it's just a sensor. And, despite the fact that, we know damn well it's not just a sensor, but.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a crazy part, and we know that, and we know that they the record stuff and whatnot. But what's happening is, and even they've been doing it in trying it in my center in Dallas, and I know they must be trying it at other places to bring drivers in to look at for training purposes, and it's not what we do. We're not going to do that. If they have a video and they want to show us, we're not going in. Spoke to the BA today. We do not go into the office.
Okay.
And, and I was, we were along the same, I was thinking the same thing. Just wanted to make sure, double checked, he agreed for now, unless something changes, we don't go in the office to go, discuss, training of a video that, something they recorded of us. We're not doing it.
It's not supposed to be there to begin with.
Yes, absolutely. So every steward out there needs to understand that. Not go in the office if they want to start showing you a video of, for training purposes and whatnot. And they.
And if you're in the office, and they want to start bringing that stuff up, leave. Like this meeting's over with. That's another thing. That's another point of contention that I have a hard time getting across to new stewards is like, when you're in a hearing or a meeting with another member of management, it's you. Generally, it's you, the member you're there to represent, and another member of management, whether that be a supervisor, a center manager, a division manager, whoever. While you're in that meeting, you and that center manager are equals.
Absolutely.
And if at any point in that meeting you feel like this meeting, it is going in a direction that you don't feel is comfortable, like maybe they're attacking the member, maybe they're attacking you, maybe they're bringing up things that they're not supposed to, call a caucus, walk out.
Absolutely.
And if they try to follow, be like, hey, if you're going to follow us, then this meeting's coming to an end. Like, I'm not going to do this. Like, you have the right to walk out of that room with your member and discuss whatever you want to, take however much time you need to have that discussion. Don't let them rush you.
Absolutely. And I think, we've talked about this. I think we've talked about this before. We don't rush through hearings or whatever it is in the office. They're trying to give you discipline. They're not doing drive-through hearings. You ask your questions. We get to ask our questions. It's not, they get to do what they want. And it's like you said, Garfield, take a caucus, step outside. And you can do that as many times as needed.
Yep.
As needed. I mean, I've done that, where, I had to maybe speak with the member and be like, okay. And we always speak in the truth, but sometimes, members might want to say too much. I mean, sometimes you just don't. And again, we always speak the truth, but, sometimes you don't, the information that you have to try to, okay, we're going to step outside. We're going to, we need to talk about this. And the manager, can't say, no, you can't. It's part of the contract. We absolutely can. And,
this is another good thing for members too. When you get questioned by a center manager or a supervisor or something, when they're questioning something, if you have any doubt that you may have done something wrong and that you don't necessarily want to admit to, or, have that discussion outside with your steward. But also, if they're asking you and they're holding you to an answer, just say, I was doing my job.
Yeah, and what happens is, and I'm going to tell you, they'll absolutely, try anything, and if it's like a week and a half later, how can you remember what happened, a week and a half ago? I mean, if they're going to do something, let them do it right, right off the bat. But again, just getting back to what we were talking about with the cameras and whatnot, we will not do, go in there when it has anything to do with the video. And if they started in the middle, oh, well, here's a video. No, we're not doing this.
No,
they can say what they want. Oh, we're going to do this. No, I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry. we're stepping out. Unless you're going to shut that thing off and we're going to just keep talking. This is done right here.
Yep.
This is absolutely done. But that whole thing with the cameras is an absolute mess.
Yeah.
And yeah,
there's our
we know.
Oh, there's our glorious negotiating committee for you.
I know. That's just there we go with that bad language again. Just allowing things to happen. But moving on to the next thing, in the contract in the back, there's plenty of letters of understanding for different articles and whatnot. And this one is the letter of understanding for Article 48. Okay, and it says this in 48, but just want to reiterate this and. Maybe when whenever we get the new contracts, and it's in the old contracts, obviously you can see there's letters of understanding, certain things that people wouldn't even know about. Go look in the back, you'll see it, different things, and one of them was it's about the fans that they had to install the fans.
Yep,
that's important. That's certain things, but this one for Article 48, I'm going to read it verbatim here first, and we'll talk. This letter of understanding is entered into by the parties to clarify the interpretation of Article 48, Section 5, 7, 10, 11 on layoff procedures as follows. Once a full-time employee is laid off from their classification and exercise their right to elect work in another full-time classification, provided they are qualified, the junior full-time employee in that classification using their full-time seniority date will be the employee laid off and or displaced. Now, a lot of the stuff going on now, I mean, it's going on with the feeders, and feeders we'll really touch upon when we have a guest on here, from the feeder department. But this is one of those things that just comes up, and what can I do, what can I not do, and as long as with feeders, I mean, as long as you're, again, like anything else, you're qualified, you can do it, but it's got to be done the proper way, and management will say no to this, that you can't go into the hub and do this. No, you can. Just ask your steward about this. We wanted to touch upon this because it's important, because there's a lot of layoffs now. And I think that, talk about this and say, wait, what are my options and whatnot? And you can look at it again in Article 48, Sections 5, 7, 10, and 11 on the layoff procedures. Ask your steward, ask your BA, just to clarify anything. And it's important to know. I mean, you got to know your rights, right? I mean,
yeah, and a lot of people ignore those letters of understanding in the back. Like, people focus on the language in the front, but the letters of understanding are there to clarify a lot of the rules. So, this is helpful. Like you said, a lot of this stuff is going on with the feeder department right now, despite the fact that it appears to me that we still have contractors, but that's another story.
That is just yes, and we will have some feeder drivers on here in other episodes who will be able to speak about that a lot more.
Yeah, but also like if you get into the position to where you're a full-time driver, maybe you're lower seniority, and you get laid off, like you have the right to come in and displace a part-time employee to get those hours.
Two of them, two part-time employees.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And everyone needs to know that. And again, we can talk about this here and whatnot. And if there is an issue, ask your steward, ask your BA, and just get clarification what you can and can't do. Don't just accept if management says no, you can't do that, because they're doing that in certain buildings.
Yeah,
they absolutely are. So you have rights, and this whole our contract, the whole depth of the contract is to have people working. And when they work, there are rules, right? Yeah. So that's what these contracts are for, to have people working, but still, there's rules to go by. Management, union.
There's rules to go by, and we have to enforce them. We can't accept a member of management's word on it, because whether they're lying to you or not, they may not know, but I feel like probably the majority of them know. But and they're just
trying. Yeah, they just violate it anyway. Like, oh yeah, you can't do this, but you can do this, and it's just when they say that, just check with the, like I said, steward or a BA. Get some clarification on that. Don't just accept their word on that, because I mean, I think there are a lot of management that don't know, and like you said, a lot of them do know, and they just try to steer you in a different direction. So. It's about always, getting clarification from an authorized agent.
Yeah, we covered a few topics today, and Jeff and I understand that there's a lot of ground left to cover. So if there is something that you would like us to weigh in on or talk about, or if you have a situation going on in your center you'd like us to weigh in on, please feel free to email us at 767realitycheck@gmail.com. We're going to try to get to some of those emails in a future podcast and answer questions to the best of our abilities. But Jeff and I are more than happy to weigh in on any questions that you might have.
For today, I'm Jeff Schenfeld.
And I'm Garfield Hooper. Our experiences deal largely with the Southern Region Supplement. This is just an information podcast, and if you have questions, it's best to contact your local steward or business agent.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.